Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to your reading with me, Cindy. Scorpio, we are looking very deeply into your spiritual success and activation this week. And in this reading, I'm going to ask 4 key questions. I'm going to ask, what area of your life are you feeling the most disheartened or blocked in? How this block is shaping the course of your life, what you can activate in your life right now, and how to move away from your worries. So they're not simple like, oh, this is going on and you should do that. They're really deep. And of course they are, because I'm using all the wild unknown. Let's go in the other order. Wild unknown tarot, you have the devil at the bottom. Wild unknown oracle, you have the rabbit, afraid of the devil. Afraid of the devil you don't know. Better to be with the devil you know than the devil you don't know, I'm hearing. Wow, it's interesting. We're already getting into it, aren't we? And then we have the vessel. Then we have the wild unknown archetype deck. Oh, I gotta these. Where did that come from? No. Excuse me. Okay, I think I'm okay now. The vessel. The temple. My gosh, what a split. Better to be afraid of the devil that you know than the devil you don't know. And the vessel. Are you the soup or the chef here? Are you being molded? Or are you doing the molding? Interesting. Well, let's get started, Scorps. Let's get started. So we are going to start with the archetype jack. Area of your life you are most disheartened about, feel the most blocked in, how this block is shaping the course of your life, what you can activate in your life right now, how to move away from your worries. Area of your life you are most disheartened about or feel the most blocked in. The mask. Oh gosh, it's so interesting. I mean, I was talking about the split with the vessel and the temple. Like, you, are you the soup or are you the chef? The mask, it just kind of feels like there's a part of you to be revealed, but yet it's almost like you need to discover who this part of you is. And at this moment in time, it kind of just feels like a black void. It might even feel like, because I always like just reading from left to right, I feel like time for me as a reader progresses in this direction. So you're coming from a period here of like rainbows, accomplishment, something here in your life that was very fulfilling, something in your life that was really fulfilling. But it's kind of almost like that's come to an end, or that's coming to an end, or you're anticipating it coming to an end. And this represented a persona that no longer exists for you, like, because it's a mask. Like, when this period of some kind of accomplishment has ended, the mask ends with it. There's no mask and there's a black void. It kind of almost feels like you could even be sitting in some sort of an energy or a thought pattern here where you're contemplating, was all this wonderful? Did I feel wonderful in it because of the mask that I wore, because of the persona that I had when I was in this energy or engaged in whatever this was? And then not having any of that to lean into, like moving into the future here. It kind of has the feeling to me like some sort of major ending or completion. It could kind of be, you know, like, let's say you've raised your kids and they're off to college, or they finished college, they've kind of got their own places, they seem to be kind of, you know, living on their own, okay, and you can kind of sit with that and say, look what I did. I made that accomplishment. They're doing things on their own. But this, like, you know, I mean, there's probably a lot of happy memories, probably some tough ones, but there's good memories there. And then you had this persona of a parent, but then, you know, you're not that anymore. So that's not really a part of your life doing that. And there's this black void. It could even be like work. It could be, I'm seeing something like in a church too. So I don't know if someone works in a church group or some sort of a spiritual group, but they're not doing that anymore. And this dark void. So who are you after this? That's kind of like the question, like, well, who are you? How does this block shape the course of your life? Oh gosh, this is crazy. The sword. Look at the repeat pattern here with the colors and the black. Wow, okay. It's shaping the course of your life because you're realizing that you can be two distinct people in a lifetime. Two completely distinct and different people in a lifetime. I feel like some of you, oh my God, these are LX1 and LX2. I know I'm not saying that right, but my normal numerals, I'm not up to date on that. LX1 and LX2. It sounds like a new car model, doesn't it? Yeah, I drive an LX1. My wife drives an LX2. Huh. Well, this is good. I mean, in terms of whatever's going on here, things are happening kind of the way they should. They're happening in yeah, a very synchronized way. Like, oh, what is this from your past? I don't know what this is from your past, but boy, it feels like for you on some element here, like you've had your best days. I don't know if there's a bit of a negative. It just feels like that. Like, right, look at the dark is on this side that we're progressing forward, and the dark is on this side. Like, this is no longer part of your life. There's even a lightning strike coming through. So has something happened, or something is happening? But, you know, the question is, it could be kind of a big question. Like, how does this block shape the course of your life? I mean, that's a really vast question. It's not like the course of your life right now. And a lot of the answers have been so kind of big and deep and philosophical in these readings that I could see how it is sort of like even just a life question for you. So, having said that, I feel like when you complete things in your life, you may have a tendency to be nostalgic about them. Whether or not they were as good as what you remember, there is a sense of nostalgia. So, and then I feel like, okay, because this is like birth and death, and so funny, Scorpio. And then when the death comes, what once was, it's just like, oh, what a wonderful time that was in my life. But moving forward, you might feel like when you're going into a rebirth or you're finalizing the end of something in your life, you may go into a bit of darkness. You may just kind of naturally go into a bit of darkness, which in some ways it feels like it almost might be an activation to do shadow work. So you've completed this cycle, and then you think about it in a certain mindset that causes you to even like see the past in more of a rose-colored glasses. But because, well, if that was so good, what is there now? Darkness. But hey, you can't see the light unless you walk into the darkness. Oh, this is so intriguing, Scorpio. Okay, what can you activate in your life right now? The storm. Look, that lightning bolt. I was going to say, if this is LX3, XL7. XL7. What is the L? Is that 40? Because it goes by tens, like X's, 10, 20. I think it goes up to 30. And then does it become 40? I can learn this. So is that 51 and 52? Sorry. The storm. Wow. Chaos. Massive change. But it's connected to how something is shaping your life, because the lightning bolt comes through. And the sword, to me, represents either cutting something out, being really definitive about two parts of your life here. One is ending, and it's all seems like rainbows and butterflies. So I just keep getting accomplishment. So I feel like you've accomplished something in some sort of past cycle that you can be proud of. You honestly can be proud of it. And it isn't just necessarily rose-colored glasses. But look at here, the color is fading too. I don't know. I feel a bit like Scorpio. This is some sort of a dark night of the soul energy. But I also want to say that I feel like it's a natural thing for you. Like it's just a natural cycle. And the lightning comes through again. So it's finding new clarity. But you find new clarity in kind of looking at whatever these shadowy elements are that get triggered in you with conclusions in your life. How can you move away from your worries? The stone. LX. Oh no, 5. Well, we're still in the LXs though. LX7, XL7, and LX7. Gosh, your numbers are so interesting, aren't they? Is this 57? I'm just guessing because if L is a 40 and that's a 10, 57. Oh, what is XL? No. I don't know. Okay, never mind. You guys can put in the comments if you understand what these numbers are. I'm focusing on them, so there's got to be a reason for them. And even just how they're kind of mirroring each other and falling into like numerological order. The stone. Circle. It's very geometrically based, isn't it? And oh, like if you looked at a triangle, oh my gosh, something here that almost feels like part of an IQ test. Like if you separated, like let's not look at the thing in the middle yet, but like the triangle, the square, and the circle. If you just looked at them separately, you wouldn't see how they actually connect with each other. Although I would always say like you can fit two triangles together to make a square. But yet, gosh, the circle, when you put it in the square, creates triangles. And then when you put the square inside the triangle, it creates, oh, what are these called again? They're like, my son studies these. I don't remember it now. Like the triangle at the top remains the same as the triangle as a whole, but the triangles on the side are now like, they're odd. That's not what they're called though, right? Is that or not? I don't know. Why am I being called to remember, like to look into these things? There's something about geometric patterns. Move away from your worries. Geometric patterns. But yet what sits inside is as I'm guessing, the stone. But it's so odd. It's almost like a gem that has a weird growth on the side of it. It's completely random. It doesn't fit the pattern. Oh, there we go. It doesn't fit the pattern. Sorry, it always takes me a while to work through what something's being said here. Yours is really esoteric. Like I really have to dig in here. Something, okay, so how to move away from your worries is that there's yet something to be discovered in your life that I do feel like is completely unexpected, and it doesn't fit the patterns that you've known. So I feel like this is a pattern that you've known. And I want to describe it as perhaps feeling like on some level that you've peaked in life, or you've peaked in some element of life, and now you're kind of going down. Like maybe you feel like a few years ago you made your highest income, but now that's coming down for some reason. Or maybe a few years ago you feel like you or on top of the world and a real good guide and counselor to your kids. But now they've kind of moved on and that's come down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it feels like you've accomplished some things here and you're recognizing the natural patterns that occur in your life. But to move away from your worries is not to, okay, is to realize that every pattern is eventually broken. And this triangle, square, and circle is showing me that, because as odd as these parts of your life have been, they've all melted into each other and created a geometric harmony. Even though, like, just looking at them, often it's like, they're not the same shapes. They're so different. And even like looking at a circle, it doesn't even have any sides or corners or angles. Like, how could that fit in with the, but then when you fit it in there, it makes these really cool Star Trek triangles. The oddball is this gem with a growth on it. It's just so weird. It's the kind of magical shit that creates evolution, but it can take millions of years for that to happen. So there might even be something here where you feel like a sense of lifetimes that you've lived and your life kind of progresses like this. There's a weird little thing here for you in the future to realize that these patterns will not continue as solid and predictable as they can be, because this is incredibly predictable. What do you got at the bottom? The sustainer. Wow, it's like being molded by clay, like God's hands molding you. You've sustained a lot of success, closure, new beginnings, but it feels like a lot of your new beginnings have started in kind of a dark period, or if it's not like just feeling kind of negative about, I can't see how I could do any better than what I did. Like, so it's all downhill from here. It's at least like a real unknown area of your life that you're about to walk into. I don't know, these are high numbers too. I think they are. I think that's 51. 50, I shouldn't say that I'm 50. 52. And then what? XL. I don't know. That confuses me. Because then you go LX. But that's obviously even higher than this. Or there's something missing here. These ones, let's just say for the sake of argument, 51, 52, 57. See, there's a break in the pattern. Activate. There it is. There's a break in the sequence. And a leap. And the storm. Oh my God. And these two are almost exactly the same numbers, but the X and the L are flipped. Then it's VII. It's a 7. And these are the two that are confounding me. Like, I'm not sure which. I thought, well, would that be 40, 50? I don't know. But okay, so the activation, what you do is the change in the pattern. Really recognizing that you have the capacity to change the course of your life dramatically here. There's the break in the pattern, what you can activate. Let's keep going. You are not just molded by the hands of God. You can do something here in your life. Oh, look at that, the rabbit and the golden egg. House of the soul. Let your soul talk to you there. A new beginning, a butterfly. The storm is your key. Walk into the storm. The other thing that I'm getting with the mask too, and all the rainbow color that comes with the mask, and then the darkness, it kind of feels like too, you know, any sort of persona about yourself or ego that existed to allow you to succeed in some avenue of your life here, that you may even convince yourself that without this, you can't have great accomplishment. But that's the thing here. You think some things or something from your past was really, really good. And then without this persona, you can't have that. But I feel like this, it actually becomes even better. But it's almost something you can't imagine with this odd gem and that growth on the side of it. I'm just going to say too, if any of you have like a weird mole or something or an odd growth, to go and check it out. I'm having a feeling here that it's okay, but I feel like even for your own peace of mind, because this is how to move away from your worries, and it's something with a weird growth on it. So just go and get that checked. Okay. Area of your life you are disheartened about or feel the most blocked in, the mask, the bear. Coming out of a period of hibernation. So you may have been, yeah, I feel like you may have been doing even just some time on your own, a little bit of kind of like hermit energy, keeping to yourself a little more than you typically would maybe. And in this, like moving forward, you might even be feeling like your own guides, your own spirit guides are trying to push you forward here. But there's something, you have discovered something with the mask. I don't want to say that this darkness isn't real. I think it is. But the idea here is that no more sunny days, move into the storm. The storm is the activation that you can do in your life right now. And by breaking the pattern, you discover the change in the cycles of your life. Like your life does not need to progress in this way. So you're coming out, you're moving forward, you're looking, the bear is looking right into the future as we move forward. How does this block shape the course of your life? The cosmic egg. It's definitely discovering something about yourself that you couldn't discover in whatever this mask and persona is. There's the rainbow. The rainbow is now all around you. The rainbow is not so much what you've accomplished in the past. Okay, it does feel like outside accomplishments. You know, like it is an outside accomplishment to feel like you've done really well as a parent and your kids are okay. They're self-sustaining. They seem to be making fairly decent choices. Like that is an accomplishment outside of you. And that is also based on your ego. Like our ego is so many different levels of us. And, you know, feeling like that. But when you are no longer that identity or you no longer have that role, there could be something here about a role. Then it becomes what you really find inside yourself. And for some of you feeling like maybe there's nothing inside. This can be particularly true of a parent that maybe stayed home with the kids or even like a workaholic, somebody who was always working. Either side, like because there's, once you're moved away from this, you lose your identity. But your identity is actually waiting to be discovered here. Activate the storm. Whoa, the bat. Wow, look at you. You have double ancestral energy here. I see the bear and the bat is ancestral. Navigate. Really getting, actually, I'm getting incredibly strong from the bat itself. Sonar. Use elements of yourself to guide here that you've maybe never used before or not had to utilize because you've been in some other type of cycle. Look at going into the moon, facing your fears, guiding yourself through them. But it feels really different from any other cycle of death and birth that you've kind of moved through. This one is significant where the cycle is changing. And you're kind of the loose cannon in that. How can you move away from your worries? The stone. Oh, the spider. Oh, that's really interesting. Again, because the web is full of all of the rainbow, which to me, the rainbow in this reading represents some sort of past that was good. And you're caught in the middle of this. The gem. You have to somehow remove yourself from the spider web. Really ground yourself. Hang on tight. So I don't know, too, if it's inevitable that there's some sort of, because the storm kind of reminds me of the tower. If there's some sort of inevitable change that's coming your way, activate. I feel like the bat would try to eat a spider. Activate yourself through this change. There's something about being able to fly higher during the storm than when things in your life were calm. There could be something coming your way, like moving away from your worries, that you can have control over here. And I feel like that happens once you change the pattern. The mouse and the peacock is at the bottom. What this darkness is. But again, like there's all the little dots of the rainbow, but they're almost even the echoes of other people's accomplishments or achievements right now. Like somehow it has an effect on you in terms of, you know, you're not there right now. You're moving out of the rainbow and into this dark energy. I mean, it could just be a couple days, a couple weeks, a couple months, I don't know. But it makes you feel small, yet there's something that you can really achieve here for yourself. And this is using your intuition, really paying attention. Focus on your mind's eye here. What do you see moving forward for yourself? This is not, maybe it's how you approach like a strong cycle shift. You're really being asked to approach it differently here. Don't feel small in it. Fly above it. Now we're getting fly above it, and then you can see what exactly it is that you need. Maybe there's something that you feel caught up in too with the web, the spider. Let's pull the tarot. No. The devil and the spider, right? The devil and the Eight of Pentacles. I want to say that because sometimes I get the Eight of Pentacles from this Oracle card, because in the deck, the Eight of Pentacles is almost the same card, but without color. Maybe there's something you've accomplished in your work, or something that you, if it's not in your work specifically, like your day-to-day, your 9 to 5, something that you've been mastering. I feel like there's a sense of accomplishing. You've mastered something here, and now what? Again, right? Now this spider's web is without color, is without rainbow, and it feels like there's this thought, like I'll never be as great as I was there, or the highest accomplishment I've made in my life has passed. Everything else moving forward lacks that rainbow. looks like in here? What is a hand coming through here? I can't tell what that is. It reminds me of the hand in another card. All right, let's see. Okay, most blocked in. Oh, the 9 of Wands. Feels like it's an uphill battle now. A long, drawn out uphill battle. It's funny, you know, like things from our past, like even if they were bad, we can tend to have a tendency to look back on them and kind of forget about the bad things. And I think that's an actual human state of mind that occurs. Because like if you talk to, I think it's a survival mechanism. It's a funny thing, right? Like if you talk to women that have had like multiple kids and they just had one, they just had like a natural birth, and like, oh my God, we'll do that again. And then they forget, and then they, oh yeah, I can activate that. Oh my God. And then often they'll say, I forgot about that. Or maybe you went off to camp as a kid and there was a bully there or something days ago, but there was some parts of it that were really good. And then when you leave the camp, a few years later, you totally forget about the bad stuff. It's just funny because in some ways, I feel like whatever these accomplishments were, they weren't easy. They were like with the 9 of Wands and the staircase. It was pretty hard. It was pretty tedious. It was exhausting. There was points in time where you felt like you could really misstep and it could go wrong. It is looking at our past. And I feel like you're looking at your past somehow, like it was much better than it was. I don't know what it was. Okay, how does the block shape the course of your life here? The sword and the cosmic egg. The 6 of Swords. Ooh, look at this rainbow. There is a rainbow after this darkness, but it's going through the darkness first. If it wasn't for this little blip in the middle here that changed the pattern, I would literally be looking at this reading and say, this is just like Scorpio. Like, is Scorpio even learning anything from this reading? Yeah. And now the 6 of Swords and the sword. Follow the storm. So let's see. The Daughter of Wands. Perhaps some sort of communication? Because this is what you can activate in your life right now. Whatever this communication is, it would be very disruptive. It would be very disruptive, and it would really like be that unpredictable element in humanity's evolution, your own evolution, the evolution of people around you, where all of a sudden, you know, everything is going down this path, just like that, just like that. Like, what was that? You know, this is when the monkey was suddenly born with thumbs that were much more forward than everyone else's. Everyone looked at that little chimp like he was a little freak. What the hell? Look at his thumbs. What do you mean? He picked up a stick and he hit his mom in the head. I was like, Jesus. How do you hold that stick like that, right? Like, that's like, it's just a freak. But yeah, there's something here that you I don't know. Scorpio, you are the loose cannon in your own path, but it changes all the predictability of everything. Move away from your worries. The stone and the spider. We've got the 6 of Wands. So there's rising up above. I feel like it's getting stuck out of this web. Something about getting stuck out of this web. And stuck out of geometric patterns. Maybe you're like a pattern person, you know, like analyzing patterns. It's almost kind of a Virgo energy, but move more into this, you know, odd shaped gem, which is you. And even like to the, right, like a storm, maybe a freak storm that comes in, a lightning storm, even thinking of, you know, a comet storm, and these weird things come in from space, or there's such intense heat through a strike of lightning, that two elements get bonded together under the surface of the earth, and then someone finds them one day. Like, how did that even happen? Like, how is there an amethyst like impregnated with gold and emerald with, I don't know, some other thing stuck to it? Like, it's just, it's weird, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it produces something in your life completely unpredicted, unseen. Like, it almost feels like if you've ever had tarot readings or psychic readings and people have been pretty good at predicting like your life and how it would go through, this would never have been come up on the radar, because this is an opportunity for you to do something that's very, yeah, the Emperor. I would put it as that energy for sure. This is really taking ownership of, I was ready to pull out more cards, because no, what I'm going to do is what I've been doing is I do this tiny little in the editing, because I'm going to, actually, you have all new cards for me too. Like, I haven't pulled any of these out. So I'm going to sit with the book and really look at these and see what else pulls in. It's only like a blip for you, but here, all right. Wow. So I'm going to say, Scorpio, wow. Well, that's not all I'm going to say. If you know me, I'm going to say more. When I get into the book of these cards, it is so clear. Like, the message is incredibly clear. Everything that I said still applies. And then I'm going to kind of like Cole's notes it here. So definitely, okay, I feel like there's perhaps something that you've been planning a long time, and whether you realize it or not, you have the confidence to do it and go through it. Look at that with these two cards right here. That's the underline. That's why we're here. You've been planning all the little tiny details of something. I feel like you are about to be the major change in your life. And that's kind of sort of like this big, whoa, how does everything change here in Scorpio's pattern? Is it Scorpio becomes some sort of massive change, but in a way that you've never changed your life before. I'm picking up that you guys have been massive changes in other parts of life, but this is something else. And then here you are prepared, the bear. The bear is prepared and looking towards the new day, and you've prepared for it. You've looked at all the tiny details of what this is. So I don't know what it is, but it's a major life change. And whether you believe it or not, you have the confidence to do it. You've got it. You can do it. Now, the sword, the cosmic egg, and the 6 of Swords. Whatever this is, it's a big change in your life. If it's quitting a job, if it's leaving a relationship, if it's telling your family you're moving to Timbuktu, so like whatever it is, you do it. That's here. That's how this is happening. This is how it's about to happen. So I don't know. It's funny too, right? Because this mouse feels like someone that plans everything. Everything is planned to do this. I bought the ticket. I've got this. You don't mince words. You do not mince words with the sword here. And the cosmic egg, this is like a spiritual truth. And nothing can deny this. You're preparing for it. That's what you're disheartened about. Or you feel kind of blocked in. I don't think you realize how much power you have in this. Like, you just do it. You just do it. And then you go into the storm. And the bat too. It's so fascinating because it actually said in the book, like, this is like this tower moment. Okay. There's a really strong message that comes in here, and I pick it up again with the daughter of the Page of Wands. Once you do this, you create some kind of catastrophic change, events that happen around you. And one of the things that you may not have put into this plan yet, which is being told to you right here, and I'm about to say it in the activation area, is to seek help from a close friend. And it is almost like to get yourself out of this storm. If you haven't planned it, if you have planned it, I'm not sure what it is in your life, but it's a strong, swift blow. This could not be more specific, because if you hack at it. If you hack at it, it's just painful for everyone, like drawn out painful. Just cut this, right, lob it right off. But you need to seek shelter from the storm. Activate that in your life right now. So I don't know. Maybe you're in the storm. Maybe there's shit's going on for you right now. Seek shelter from the storm. So I don't know if this is reaching out to somebody or if somebody is offered to help you. And then don't get caught up in, okay, this is also really fascinating how this came through, because with the mouse energy, like, you really can get caught up in all the small details. It's not time to be in that over here, like moving away from your worries. It's no longer time to be like, okay, things unfolding properly or things unfolding the way I had it planned. Don't be attached to the process. No, wait, I want to say this just right. Let me get it out. Let me get it out. Oh no, it is this book. It was it? Yeah, it was the spider. Oh, come here. I saw you there. Oh, okay, sorry. Be process oriented rather than results oriented. Okay, so I'm glad I clarified that, because it is actually, so it is, instead of seeing the results, just stick. Maybe your plan is perfect. The universe is saying your plan is perfect. Your plan is perfect. So stick to the process of that plan. But don't worry about the results coming in, because the plan is good. The plan is good. Yes, success. The plan is good. The plan is good. You've got the success here. And it might look really odd at times. Like, what the hell is forming inside this geometric pattern? It's a blob. Don't worry about that. It's still forming. It's still forming. Yeah. Wow. It was really interesting when I got into the books. Oops. that kind of slid. Geez. So, yeah, emperor all the way. And this is so many different ways of showing up as the emperor, right? Like, sitting in your castle, quietly planning. Nobody's really aware of what's going on, but you're putting together a perfect plan, and you have the confidence to do it. You know what you need to do. So I feel like you have the confidence, you have the know-how. And this does have something to do with a major change of who you are. Now, the other thing that comes up with this mask as well, which is really intriguing, is that this mask, it did benefit you at times. Don't be afraid to utilize it in whatever you're doing here. Don't be afraid to put it back on for something that you're doing. It's a personality trait that you developed in the past, and it gave you success in a completely different avenue of your life. But you can apply it in this avenue of your life, whatever that is. And then, though, I do feel like once, maybe it has something to do with a swift, just cut this out. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's it. And then you're moving in the direct. Look, you have the Six of Swords and the Six of Wands. It's taken you to your success. Believe in your process here. Focus on your process. Don't worry about the results. Definitely, this is a strong message about you might need to get out of the storm. So I don't know if somebody like just freaks the fuck out about what's going on and you just need to get yourself away from that. Or, I don't know, specific about a friend. Like, I'm trying to see if that could be like, you know, maybe you're in a work environment and you just gotta like drop a bomb about something. Or maybe make sure you have vacation time coming up right after you do it. It's definitely a strong message to activate yourself to get out of the storm. You make the storm. You freaking make the storm. You really do. But you don't need to stay in it. Because the storm is something that needed to happen. And then you initialized it. You did it. So, isn't that fascinating? How that really became so specific. I find once I went into the book, where your message seemed very broad, it seemed actually kind of opposite of the other ones that I've been doing. Like, it seems like when I went into the book, it got even like more esoteric and more deep. But yours just came like, boom. Listen, this is specific information that Scorpio needs. And right now, kind of like practical information too. For something that you're doing or you're about to do. I feel like if you're not in it, you're on the cusp of it. If you're in it, keep going. Remember the process. Your plan is good. Your plan is very good. So I'm going to go do the extended Scorpio. In the extended, I use 4 different decks. I'm going to look at the cycle you are leaving. That's going to be interesting. The cycle that you are entering. And then between those two cycles, there's usually a bit of a void space, which actually to me, I almost feel that. Like, would it be seeking shelter from a friend or seeking shelter from the storm somehow? So we're going to see what your focus is in the void, like what you would choose to focus on between moving from one cycle to another. And then we're going to get advice for you. So Scorpio, that was interesting. Way to make changes. Thank you so much, my friends. Until next time, do be gentle with yourselves. Bye.